Hi, welcome to our microfarm. Today I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the choices we made when making our very cheap and very effective chicken house. And we've got it for two of these little chickens. There we go. They're little bantams. And come down here, you can see we've got these larger full-size chickens as well. So we've got two of these ones and two of the little ones. So I'm going to talk you through how we made it and why. So when making the actual structure of the wood I used was the cheapest I can find, which was pallet wood. Got some pallets, took them apart. And basically all of these sections here are just pallet wood. And I painted them over just to give it a bit of consistency. These bits of wood here, these are also parts of pallet or just thrown away wood that I could find. And I sort of made it patched together in that way. So we've got two nest boxes here. You can basically have it's one nest box for three chickens. So one nest box for three chickens. So for us, we've got four chickens and two nest boxes, so we can grow our little flock if we want to. So I've got a little hook on the side here, and the hook is it's a very simple mechanism, and it's just to keep foxes out at night. In here, we've got two nest boxes. We've also got these little curtains that we put in as well. Again, just old material, very cheap, tied on at the top here. And that just gives them a little bit of privacy. And we use some really soft straw in here for them, and they think that's really snuggly. The join here, we've put some roofing tape. This is just to make sure that if any water falls on it, it doesn't go down those cracks. I can put the link below of where it's from. So for our roof, we used just this bitumen corrugated roofing. The reason we chose not to have wood and then roofing felt on top was because if you do that, you can get a lot of red mites that live underneath it. So this is a way of making sure that there was nowhere that they could live. And so where we had a join here, again, we've used our really strong roofing tape just to try and stop there being little crevices for the red mites to hang out in. We've also got a lot of ventilation, a good bit of ventilation under here as well, because you want to get a balance between it being snuggly and warm, but making sure there's good ventilation for the chickens as well. So when you've got chickens, you've got to think about how you're going to clean them out. So for us, we decided to have a whole detachable side. Right, this comes off really easily and means that we can get into our chicken coop at a good height, so we're not scrabbling around, and we've got a nice bit of width to it as well. I know some coops you can get do have like detachable floors and things like that, but we couldn't afford that and we didn't have the resources to do it, so we've gone for something that works for us. So for our perches, it's really important that chickens have a perch inside their coop because they like to kind of get a bit high, and also it kind of is to do with how their status in their pecking order. So we've got two heights of our perches here, and again these are detachable, so they slide out really easily. Nothing's hugely fancy, all really functional, but they do come out. So when we clean it, it's much easier for us just to go and sweep out the bits we want to. So the other thing with chickens is you want to try and stop them from sleeping in the nest box at night. It's not the end of the world if they do, but it means that they poo a lot more in there, and it means you have to clean it out a bit more. So the way we try and do that is we've got our perches here are slightly higher than our nest box because chickens naturally want to get very high. With the structure, you can also see that we've raised ours up. Some people could have them lower, but we've raised it up for a number of different reasons. And the main one is just to stop rats living underneath it. So how do our chickens get in and out? Well, quite frankly, they can jump. However, we might like to make it a bit more luxurious for them. So here, I've made a really simple ramp, which is just two bits of pallet wood that were joined together and then slightly moved out apart at the bottom. And then I've put little struts down with just some offcuts of wood that I found. And then at the top here, I've just put a bit of wood that notches against a slight bit of wood that sticks out here. And then finally, and really simply, we have a little bit of wood that we can just slot in there and put a little latch down on the top with there, just to keep them in the winter when it gets a bit nippier. At the bottom, around the edges of our coop, we've got some wire that's just been stapled on. This is because of the way that our coop attaches to our run. So in the evenings, we shut them in the run, and in the summer, we can leave the door open and they go in and out. And this basically is just to stop any foxes and predators coming in. We don't have many around where we live, so it's not such a problem. But if you did live in an area that had a lot of predators, then it's this sort of stuff that becomes really important. And it's the quality of the wire that you want to be really careful about. Chicken wire is a bit rubbish. So get some really good hardcore wire that has got these really nice small squares on it to make sure it's really robust. Also, having a little skirt out the bottom here and pegging that down means that when a fox comes in, they come in straight at the bottom, quite close to where the structure meets the ground. And if they hit something there like wire, they don't think to go back a few steps. They simply try and get in there. They can't get in there, and then it means that it stops them from going in. So it's quite a good way of preventing them from digging underneath and into your coop. So for us, moving our coop is really important because we do move it around the garden. So we've just got some poles that really easily slide in and out. They're lightweight aluminium poles. You could equally just attach wood battens to it as well, depending on how you want to work with it. But it's really easy for two people to pick up.